Governor, you've used the phrase volunteer pretty frequently. I know you had some social media posts where you put it all in bold. So I think it's pretty clear that since November 17th, the force that remains, the 170 we're talking about, are there as volunteers, part of the original force that you authorized back in August to be there at the request of President Trump, and these are strictly volunteers. But walk us through that decision, because at least according to the November 8th press release from the West Virginia National Guard, you are the one that authorized the volunteer force to remain there. So who asked us to keep a volunteer force there? How did that decision come about to keep this contingent there through the end of the year?
Absolutely. So we know that we entered the district back in August, and after that happened, there were questions about how many people would be in the district, contributions from West Virginia and from other different states. So there's usually a rotation that occurs in terms of when guardsmen stay, and that as there are questions about how long we would stay, I made the decision to have the word come down that we would ask the people if they wanted to volunteer. And there was never any pressure. This was done that if people wanted to stay and fulfill the mission, they could. I was pleased to report that between about 160 and 170 people had asked to do that. And so that's why I emphasize that these are people that knew the mission. They agreed with the mission. I think the mission has been largely successful, and they wanted to serve their state and they wanted to serve their country. So I had extensive conversations with the National Guard, and I wanted to make this voluntary because anytime someone is doing that, there's a lot of sacrifice that's involved, and people give up time with their families. They take leave from work. They leave their communities, especially during the holiday season. But these are people that wanted to be there, and they wanted to continue the mission.